Welcome to National Press Today, your daily source for the most compelling headlines and breaking news in just minutes.
I was pretty much on my knees. I needed to wake the fuck up. Those words, raw, honest, and unexpectedly vulnerable, came from none other than Brad Pitt, the Hollywood icon whose on-screen charisma often masks a more turbulent private life. If you find value in real stories told with clarity and truth, make sure to subscribe to stay informed with nationalpresstoday.com. For the first time in years, Pitt is opening up in detail about the emotional toll of his highly publicized divorce from Angelina Jolie. Their separation, finalized at the end of 2024, was not just another celebrity breakup. It became a headline-dominating saga involving allegations of abuse, an FBI investigation, and a deeply fractured family dynamic. And while Jolie has at times shared her side of the story publicly, Pitt remained largely silent, until now. Speaking candidly on the Armchair Expert podcast with actor Dax Shepard, Pitt revealed the extent of his emotional breakdown and the path he took to recover. The conversation marked a pivotal shift, offering the world a rare glimpse into the man behind the fame and the unfiltered pain of navigating addiction, accountability, and fatherhood in the harsh glare of the public eye. His story is more than just Hollywood drama. It taps into something universal: the struggle to rebuild oneself after devastation, and the courage to seek help even when your entire identity has been built on strength. In this expanded report, we'll examine not only what Pitt said, but also the broader legal and emotional backdrop that has shaped his journey. We'll take you through court records, public reactions, and expert insights into one of the most dissected celebrity divorces of the decade. In 2016, what the public first perceived as a routine Hollywood split quickly escalated into a legal and reputational storm. Angelina Jolie filed for divorce in September of that year, citing irreconcilable differences. But court documents would soon reveal a much darker narrative. Among the allegations was an incident that allegedly occurred during a private family flight from France, in which Jolie accused Pitt of physically and verbally assaulting her and at least one of their 6 children. The gravity of the accusations led to an investigation by both Child Protective Services and the FBI. According to multiple reports, including from the BBC and CNN, Jolie alleged that Pitt became verbally abusive and physically confrontational while intoxicated during the flight. One of the children was allegedly struck. The event, Jolie claimed, was the breaking point. Pitt has consistently denied all allegations of abuse, and while the FBI and the Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services both investigated the matter, Pitt was never charged with any crime. In fact, in November 2016, the FBI formally closed the case, citing a lack of evidence to pursue federal charges. Still, the damage had been done, to Pitt's public image, to the trust between the estranged couple, and most tragically, to the emotional well-being of their children. Despite the closed investigation, the allegations remained a looming shadow over Brad Pitt's career and personal life. For years, Jolie and her legal team maintained that her actions in court were motivated by the best interest of her children, while Pitt's camp pushed back, suggesting that the accusations were a calculated media strategy. The couple's battle over custody dragged on for nearly a decade, culminating in a finalization of their divorce in December 2024. But the bitterness, legal and emotional, remains fresh in the minds of many. Meanwhile, the public remained divided. Some sided with Jolie, applauding her for taking a stand and protecting her family. Others, particularly those who followed Pitt's efforts at recovery, viewed him as a man trying to atone for past mistakes and reclaim his dignity. What made this situation so complex and so captivating was the intersection of fame, family, and a justice system that rarely scrutinizes Hollywood royalty with the same rigor as everyday citizens. Pitt, for all his celebrity, was still subject to the same laws and scrutiny as anyone else, but he was also afforded the benefit of extensive legal counsel and a platform to eventually reshape his narrative, which he appears to be doing now. After the dust settled from the legal skirmishes and media storm, Brad Pitt faced a different kind of reckoning, one that couldn't be solved in courtrooms or press releases. It was internal. In the Armchair Expert interview, Pitt didn't just reflect on the divorce, he revealed how profoundly broken he felt in the aftermath. "I was pretty much on my knees. I needed to wake the fuck up." At the heart of that journey was sobriety. According to the New York Times and GQ, Pitt began attending AA meetings shortly after the divorce filing. He called it an AA group that was really special. He described it as a space where men could shed their public personas and speak freely about failures, longings, and regrets. Men sharing their experiences, their foibles, their missteps, their wants, their aches, and a lot of humor with it. But even that openness had consequences. Pitt revealed that someone within the AA structure had quietly admonished him for breaking the organization's cardinal rule, anonymity. Yet the message was clear. Brad Pitt had undergone a transformation, not the performative kind seen in tabloids, but the kind forged in humility and honesty. In an era where celebrity breakdowns often become entertainment, his choice to engage with recovery privately and then share it carefully resonated with many. And for Pitt, it wasn't about rebranding, it was about survival. The divorce between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie didn't unfold in a vacuum. It came at a time when Hollywood was being fundamentally reshaped by the Me Too movement, a cultural reckoning that redefined how power, abuse, and accountability were discussed in public discourse. Media outlets reflected this shift. Outlets like The Guardian, Variety, and NBC News often framed the Pitt-Jolie divorce through the lens of systemic change. Pitt's silence, while legally cautious, gave room for speculation to grow. Meanwhile, legal experts noted that the decision not to press charges by the FBI didn't equate to full exoneration. It simply means the threshold for prosecution wasn't met, said attorney and legal analyst Ariva Martin in a 2022 CNN roundtable. As Pitt moved forward, the future now seemed less about redemption in the eyes of Hollywood and more about reconciliation with himself. He starred in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, earning an Oscar, and followed up with roles like Ad Astra and producing films such as Maneri and She Said, a film based on the investigation that exposed Harvey Weinstein. Still, not everyone embraced his return without reservations. Some online voices questioned whether Pitt had ever truly taken responsibility. Others saw his openness as sincere. Since the initial filing in 2016, custody has remained the most fiercely contested issue between the two. In 2021, a California judge tentatively granted Pitt joint custody, but soon after, Jolie filed a motion to disqualify that judge, and the ruling was voided. Sources told Entertainment Tonight that several of the older children have distanced themselves from Pitt in recent years. In his interviews, Pitt hinted at regret and longing. His pursuit of sobriety, he implied, was for himself and his family. Fatherhood for Pitt seems less like a role and more like a responsibility he's trying to re-earn. In the era of cancel culture, Brad Pitt's story stands at a complicated crossroads. On platforms like Twitter and TikTok, reactions remain polarized. Some praise his vulnerability. Others remain skeptical. Hollywood, too, has evolved. Studios are more risk-averse. Pitt's ability to keep working signals that the industry still sees him as bankable and redeemable. As cultural critic Soraya Chemaly wrote in The Atlantic, the question isn't just whether we forgive, but what we require before forgiveness becomes possible. As the final chapter of the Brad Pitt-Angelina Jolie divorce quietly closed in December 2024, the story left behind more than broken headlines. It left behind questions and reckonings. There is no victory speech, no final curtain, only what comes next. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from this saga isn't about stardom, scandal, or even sobriety. It's about how we handle complexity. Are we capable of holding two truths at once? Brad Pitt's public reception is not a verdict. It's a living conversation, one that evolves as more voices enter the room. If this story moved you or opened your eyes, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and share this report with someone who needs to see it.